The other program wanted to get into today here was the Georgia Bulldogs. Talk about a team with a lot of turnover, lots of new weapons offensively, new quarterback as Carson Beck is at Miami now, Gunnar Stockton taking over there. The depth in that room, may not be the strongest right now. Could you see them going after another quarterback right now?
Oh, look, Pete Nakos, who's plugged in with agents and front offices like no one else when it comes to the portal, he said, keep an eye on Georgia and quarterbacks. We know they went after Fernando Mendoza, at least explored that. I thought that was a good fit potentially. Gunnar Stockton, great spring. He's going to be the guy. It's going to be a Gunnar Stockton show. At least he'll have a chance to be the guy. Behind him, Puglisi, Montgomery, who's a big physical pro-style passer, Hezekiah Millender. So not a lot of experience in the room. Even Gunnar Stockton himself does not have a lot of experience. The room in total, 83 collegiate passes, all coming from Gunnar Stockton. So I think quarterback depth, something to watch. Also, running back. You lose at the end. You've recruited well at that position. Chauncey Bowens showed a little bit of flashes, signs of life there in the spring game, but you need more at running back. This is the Georgia Bulldogs. This is, Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, right? This is a program that's prided himself on running the ball. You saw that running game drop to the hundreds last year. I don't think that is Georgia football. Truthfully, I don't think the running game has been where Georgia wants it to be for a while. And look, they won 2 national championships. You had a running quarterback. The running game was obviously very effective. But if I'm a Georgia fan, I'm thinking Sony and Chubb. That's where I'm aiming. And multiple NFL backs at the same time. McIntosh was a good back. But again, if I'm Georgia, I want studs at running back. So if a stud running back comes available in the portal, I could see Georgia making a move there. Or if it's just depth, I could see them going there as well. They're continuing to recruit top running backs. But when you're ranked in the hundreds in running, and I think we talked a lot about Carson Beck and Gunnar Stockton last year, just as far as that dynamic. Talked a lot about the receivers leading the nation in drops. Offensive line maybe underperforming from a pass blocking standpoint. The running game was a problem for Georgia last year. We don't talk about that enough. Georgia football cannot rank in the hundreds in running. Come on, guys. What are we talking about here? I think running back is an area to watch. And then also pass rush, Pete. I know you're a huge fan of Damon Wilson, who went to Missouri. That's an area where I can see them adding guys.
Yeah, and I mean, NACO says that they're going to be aggressive adding multiple guys potentially. So that, is that a bit of a concern to you? I would say if you're looking to add multiple guys at a premier position. Now it's Georgia. They could flip that quickly. I think they potentially did with the receivers room, but yeah, that's a premier position. I need 2 guys there at that spot at this juncture. If you're Georgia, again, it's Georgia we're talking about here, who has been producing these guys pretty easily over the past 5-6 years. So, yeah, that's one to watch, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, look what you lost. Wright Williams, he's going to be a first-round pick. Jalen Walker, kind of a combo edge off ball, but he brought a lot of pass rush value. He's out the door. Wilson, who I think everybody expected. This was the shocker of the portal season to me, really, was Wilson going to Missouri because he was
next in line.
He was next in line. He was there to be the guy.
Played already.
I didn't understand. I still don't understand it aside from the financial part of it. But that happened. It's gone. The money that you could have spent on him is now available to spend. You did lose. You lost Mpemba, right? He was out the door as someone who, it's not like he was a dynamic player in terms of what he had done on the field, but you had him, you developed him. Now he goes to Texas A&M, so you lose depth in that way. I think they could. And then whoever the top defensive end on the market is, I think Georgia is going to make a claim there. Now, you saw Texas Tech with Bailey from Stanford. That was a pretty big piece that was taken off the board. Texas Tech, you got to imagine the big spenders on the block, which is crazy. We're talking Texas Tech and Georgia. We're talking about Texas Tech being the big spenders. But I think they're kind of out of it now with the money they've spent. A lot of teams have other needs.
Listen, man, don't double eagle energy, man. Don't you say that they might want to start spending again.
Listen, you never count them out. We could have mentioned them in the Nico video too, yeah. Although I think they're probably tapped out. But if I'm Georgia, whoever the top defensive end is on the market, we talked about Ohio State a second ago, was also in the market for defensive linemen. But I think whoever the top defensive end is on the market, you're the Georgia Bulldogs. Go out and get him. You've been recruited like crazy. You got great roster. But that's if you're going to compete with some of these teams that you're going to have to play right? Look, Arch Manning's going to get this thing going pretty soon. Alabama's passing game looked better than I thought in the spring. You know, LSU with Nussmeier is going to be throwing all over the yard. Whoever you play in the SEC and the SEC championship, ultimately in the playoff, you got to get to the passer, and you've lost so much pass rush juice. You got to rebuild that with not just bodies, but Georgia caliber pass rushers. And there might only be one that enters the portal that is at that caliber. We don't know who it is yet, but whoever that name is, that's over the line of what can make an impact for Georgia football, I think you got to go and get him.
All right, everyone. Appreciate you all for joining us today live. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Keep it locked all week, all month here on Group Chat Football Live, because it's going to be crazy. The portal is back open this week, and we'll keep you guys updated. Thank you all for watching today. See you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.